You know what it's like being Mandela affected? You know, I don't know if you haven't noticed the Mandela effect and all the changes and stuff, then, well, must be nice to be you, I guess. I remember how it started out, for me back in, kind of started out about 2008, 2009 or something. I started to notice a bunch of brand name changes and stuff, but I just thought that they were some, gimmick or something. I thought when Fruit Loops had the two O's, I thought that it was some kind of cute gimmick that they renamed it to, because they thought it was, would help them sell it or something. And I started noticing other things. I remember I was looking for the freaking Jiffy peanut butter and they didn't have any. I said, I got Skippy. So I ended up buying Skippy. I'm like, wait, you guys don't have the Jiffy? Yeah. And I'm seeing all this other little shit, in the stores. Like, that doesn't look right. That doesn't really look right either, Like Vlasic, spelled different, and a bunch of other shit. Does anybody remember when they banned kratom and made it like a Schedule 1 substance or something? And then, like, right after they announced that it was banned and illegal or whatever, all of a sudden it was for sale everywhere and it was like the ban never happened. Or during the, never mind. I was gonna say something else, just. They started selling some shit called lean, too. I don't know, it's just crazy. You look up at the sky, the fucking seasons are different. Suddenly there's all these blood moons on Jewish holidays and freaking, eclipses. One day they'll be like, oh yes, an eclipse, the only one like this for 1,000 years. And then there's like another one and another one and another one after that. Like, don't miss this chance to see it for the first and last time. Won't be another one for 100 or 1,000 years or something. And there's like another one and another one. We still got the glasses left from the last one. Yeah. Moon, way more full moons than like ever before. Tons of shit, man. The sun's freaking white. See all kinds of weird shit. Businesses, roads shifting, changing. Drive into town on a normal route, and all of a sudden the fucking road is completely different. You're like, where the fuck am I? You see some new huge factory there that looks like it's been there for years. You never fucking seen it before. You've driven past like a million times, brand names and shit change. I see some tree that like fell down and then it's like standing there again. Like, what the fuck? How did that tree come back? No, nobody else remembers them falling down and them chopping it up with chainsaws and driving past with loads of logs. No, okay. Just me then, huh? People are completely different. Like, they're way more fucking hypnotized than ever before. Way more, like, cold and different. Just, it's fucking spooky, People you know for a year, your whole life, your family, your friends and shit are completely different. Mostly, like, worse. It's like everyone's gone crazy or something, it seems like, or just became fucking like straight up malevolent evil. And around 2015, suddenly I discovered there's all these other people remembering shit the same way I was. Remember, I sent some email to some psychic or something asking if they'd noticed Nelson Mandela was alive and shit, This was back in like 2000, I don't know, 2008 or 9 or something I did it. So I was like looking all over. Can't tell you how many times I'd search for like, stuff about different dimensions, about reality changing, and seeing if anybody noticed anything. Like, wouldn't see anything anywhere hardly. Except maybe some random like old Art Bell thing or something, Be like, what the fuck? Where is everyone? What am I? So I just like kind of go about my life thinking shit, nothing I can do about it, Maybe people just think I'm nuts if I tell them. So it's like, and then when you find out there's like thousands of other people, or maybe even millions of other people that remember things the same way you do, it's still like you're totally fucking alone. Because you like probably never meet any of these fucking people, Like, people just go on like endlessly, years and years, like fucking beating the same subject over the head, like beating a dead horse or something, People will be talking about fucking Fruit Loops for like fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 years or something. Like, Berenstein Bears book change, Fucking seriously, come on. Still no fucking answers, right? This is fucking freaky. Freaky as hell. You feel totally fucking alone. It's like no one will talk to you anymore. And if you do talk to people, it's like they seem all fucking strange, or like they're just there to observe you or something. And you get the distinct impression that all these people that seem like they're totally stupid, like they don't know anything, like they know a lot more than they fucking let on, and they're just pretending, playing dumb or something. Yeah. It's like they're fucking following you and watching you and shit. Spying on you. That's what it feels like. You just gotta watch all the craziest shit you could imagine going on around in the world. Like nobody fucking notices. All this other weird, crazy shit you can't even fucking hardly talk about with anyone. Like goddamn faces in the clouds, faces in the fucking bushes, faces in the trees, Faces all over the goddamn place if you look for them. Crazy, crazy shit. Like everything's different season. I mean, one day, like I remember this last summer, like when it changed, like it just, in literally like a day or two, suddenly the sun was going down like 3 hours earlier than it did before. And this happened almost instantly, like within a day or two. And it's like I'm the only one that even fucking notices, It's like, what the fuck? You people aren't bothered by the fact that the sun just went down 2 or 3 hours like earlier than it did the day before? You don't even notice this shit? Like, what the fuck? Or that the goddamn moon, there's like full moons way more often than there used to be. The sun is fucking white, for God's sakes, you know? All this weird fucking, suddenly blood moons all the fucking time. Never seen a blood moon before in my fucking life until this shit, you know? The only place I ever even heard of a fucking blood moon was like a, what was the movie called, what was it called? The Seventh Seal or some shit. Whatever. Where the sun became his sackcloth and the moon became his blood. You know, it's from the Bible. All this apocalyptic shit going on, but just fucking nutso, you know? Like shit you wouldn't even believe. You just said, like, if you start pointing out like people in goddamn rubber masks pretending to be politicians and shit, or the goddamn weird computer graphic glitches and people's speeches and stuff where it looks like they're a hologram. All this other weird shit, you know? It's just like crazy, you know? There's all this weird foreshadowing to everything. Just feel like you're going nuts, but it's like, you know, the shit's happening. You know, there's all these other people that remember shit exactly the same way as you do, that notice the same shit you do. But you can't ever hardly get any of them to talk to you or anything. It's like, I guess some people don't have that trouble. Oh, God. I mean, everything's different. Like, you know, I'll be honest, I got a fucking drinking problem. And I used to be a stoner and shit too, but after this shit happened, man, the Mandela Effect shit, all the changes and stuff, like everything's different. Even the way alcohol affects me is different. I used to like stumble and stagger and see double. The room would be fucking spinning and shit. None of that shit anymore, you know? And weed would just make me like happy and giggly and enhance colors and shit, you know? Totally different now. So I don't fucking touch the stuff anymore. Because it's like there's some kind of malevolence in it now or something. Oh, God. It's fucking weird. Everything used to be so much easier for me too, you know? Like, from the time I was 16 to the time that I was like 28, it's like I almost always had a girlfriend. And if I was between girlfriends, I was still getting laid, you know, still had chicks coming over all the time. Chicks texting me, calling me, fucking showing up at my door. I haven't had a damn girlfriend ever since the shit started, basically. Or since it got, like, about 2012 is when shit started getting really fucking crazy. Totally, like, completely different. It's like, all the, like, super weird shit started happening. You know? The people all changed. I mean, shit's changed. Like, for instance, my mom died like a year ago. I think today was like, would have been her 72nd birthday, or 73rd, I think, actually. It's just like, but like when I look back at pictures from Christmas, she looked way sicker in the pictures. and her hair was longer than I remember it being. Like, I hadn't seen her with hair that long as she had when she got real sick and was dying. Her hair was longer than I had seen it. Like, I hadn't seen her with hair that long since I was a little kid. Her hair was like not even half as long, and then all of a sudden it's all long and she's dying. You know? People insist that it was always that long. In a minute she's walking around like normal, walking better than I'd seen her walk in years, and then suddenly she starts leaning and falling over and getting all sick. Shit started getting like way worse toward the end of like 2014, 2015 when I had this crazy like near death hell sort of experience. And ever since that, things have been way different. Like way different. I mean, I had some like major supernatural kind of shit go on toward the end of 2014. Numerous things. First, there was some good, like, I'd been praying. This is like May, June. What was it, last of May or June? July. Oh, I remember. It was like the last day of July through to like the first day of August, basically. Because it was like started around 11 something or maybe midnight, so like right before midnight. I had watched these movies, right, and I had this weird fucking synchronicity going. I watched a movie called Heaven is for Real. It's about this kid, Colton Burpo, that had visions of heaven and a near-death experience, and at the end of the movie, they mentioned this Akiana Kramer, this little painter girl that had visions of heaven and stuff. And I went and looked up her paintings and started looking at pictures, and one of them stuck out because it looked just like me at a very specific time in my life. Like, it was me. It's this painting called Filtering Self-Awareness. So I'm finding out that this girl that had all this like heaven visions from God, that, you know, super talented gift to paint and everything. She'd been on freaking, you know, TV and stuff because she was so famous. And I find out that night that she had painted a picture of my face. So that was mind blowing. I ended up watching. I watched God is Not Dead. That's the name of the movie. Kevin Sorbo is like professor trying to disprove God or something. I watched this thing, and toward the end of it, you know, there's this whole thing saying, "Oh, everybody pray or whatever, pray with us." And I started praying, and I'm praying for, you know, God to show him his presence or something, you know, to show me. And I felt this presence come over me, and the lightning start flashing outside the window, right as I was, you know, right in exact timing, basically. And then this lightning, this silent lightning with no thunder, just went on like all night long. It's the most impressive lightning I'd ever seen in my life. And lightning, it just went on all night. I could feel this presence and like something calling to me. And so that was the good or whatever. Oh, and it's even weirder than that, because this happened like maybe like a week after this guy that I'd worked for. I would did his lawns and stuff, and raked leaves and mowed his lawn and helped him sell stuff on Craigslist and set up some speakers and things like that, you know. And the dude is this old guy. He had the same name. I realized it later on because I was looking for his like obituary to see how he died and stuff like that, because they told me he died. I look him up on my phone, and then I come to find out that he had the same name as some guy who wrote a book about psychic warfare. Talking like men who stare at goats kind of shit, you know? He had the same fucking name as that guy. And a similar like background and everything too, you know? Oh, God. So after I find that out, it was like a week later or something. Like I find out that Akiana Kramerick painted a picture of my freaking face, and then I have this fucking experience with the lightning and presence of God or something, you know, trying to communicate with me. And then, you know, a couple months later, I was like praying against witchcraft and evil and stuff right before Halloween, and I screwed up and I drank, and I think I might have got drugged or something. I ended up having this really scary, like, near-death, like, hell sort of experience. It's a long story. Fucking really crazy, scary, terrifying shit, like... And then, you know, that I was kind of going through that for quite a while. It was terrifying, and then along comes the next year, 2015, and all of a sudden I'm finding out that when I search for other people, as I had many thousands of times for years trying to find out if anybody else remembered shit being different, suddenly there were all these people that remembered things, and they were talking about the Mandela Effect. And shit just got weirder and weirder. I had this kind of like period in 2015 where everything got better, and I was able to, it was like I was supernaturally helped. I heard some voice. I've been praying and praying, and I heard a voice tell me that they loved me. And then they said, the curse is lifted. And just overnight, I quit drinking, I quit smoking, I quit masturbating, quit looking at porn. I tried to listen to music that I had before, and I just noticed the lyrics, and they would disgust me. Like songs that I'd liked for, you know, long, many years, listened to, you know, thousands of times. It's like suddenly I was hearing them for the first time, hearing how fucking horrible and filthy the lyrics were, and they just disgusted me and made me sick. And I noticed a lot of things like that, you know. I mean, my experience with... I've had a lot of, like, crazy supernatural experiences, man. Targeted individual shit. Like, dude, and just things being changed supernaturally in drastic ways that affect me to, like, make my life more difficult, you know? Well, like, it makes it damn near impossible for me to find a place to buy or a place to rent, because there'll just be, like, supernatural changes. Well, like, there's this motel I was gonna go to, right? I'd driven past it half a dozen times, whatever. I'd seen the place, and I actually drew a picture of what I remember it looking like before. I think I ripped it up and threw it away, but I could draw it again. In this motel. But the motel, it changed. It's totally different. There used to be like, I don't know, 15 or 20 rooms or something there. It was much bigger. They had a parking lot was like 3 or 4 or 5 times the size as it is now, and it was level. A bunch, way more fucking rooms. Whole other parking area. Now it's totally different. The parking lot's super slanted. I was gonna go buy a mobile home, at this trailer park. There were like 2 or 3 for sale there. And I was just going out of my way, driving back and forth to this other town. And I talked to the manager, trying to get a hold of whoever had them for sale, because I was going to buy them. And then all of a sudden, neither one was for sale. And they were different. Like this one was, it was like this sort of brownish yellow color. And it changed colors. It was totally different, and it wasn't for sale anymore. This other one was like blue and looked old and kind of dirty on the outside, kind of rusted and thing. Drive past that, and this is like a totally different trailer in its place. It's just fucked, man. I sound fucking nuts or whatever, but that's really what the fuck kind of shit goes on, It's like everything I try to do to improve my situation, there's like some kind of supernatural force in the way that prevents me from moving forward. You ever get this sense that you're like in the fucking Truman Show? Like people are just like observing you, or like you're surrounded by a bunch of fucking actors or something. It's fucking crazy. It's really fucking crazy. Like I had times where I'd try to get away from the house because there's this like straight up fucking evil bastard that was just fucking with me constantly around the time when my mom was dying. And I'd go to the park to try to get away from the craziness, and I'd show up and park my car on like an empty spot of the park, and then there'd be like fucking couple dozen brand new looking cars would just pull in and surround me. Several dozen people or more would just jump out of the cars and start like partying all around me. Like, what the fuck? Remember one day I went to the park and that was all going on. I woke up that day, I opened up the window, and as soon as I open up the window, I look up, and there's these 2 doves in a tree, and they fly off as soon as I look up at them. That's just, getting started. And I'd gone to the park to try and get away from all the craziness that was going on at home and stuff. Because I had, like a whole house of like gang stalkers, or a couple of houses right across from me, And plus I had one at the house. And my sister's boyfriend or whatever. So I'd go to the park to try and get away. And I went there, and like I said, dozens of freaking brand new looking cars pull in with all these people trying to party around me, and I just people like mean mugging me and shit, you know. I just walk up to the trails and start walking these trails at the park, and I'm just kind of like laughing, kind of, because of how fucking crazy the whole situation is, the kind of shit that goes on, you know. I get there and like there's this ice cream truck or something. Sounded like some kind of ice cream truck. It was playing some like super creepy fucking like circus music sounding shit, like creepy fucking circus music, horror film kind of creepy circus music, you know. And I just started laughing like, oh shit, that's a nice touch, you know. Just go along with all the other crazy shit going on. And then when I laughed at it, the freaking music changed, and it starts playing when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, don't you want to be in that number when the saints go marching in? And I'm kind of laughing at that, and I just walk a little ways further, and then I look off to my left, and there's a deer, like a big buck, just standing like, I don't know, like fucking 20, 25 feet away from me. He actually started to walk towards me for a minute, and then he just kind of turned his head and like thought about it, and he's just sort of slowly walked away. That was a trip. And then I walk up a little further, and there's like a dove pecking at the ground right in front of me on the trail. I'm gonna walk past him. It's just so much weird crap, you know. I mean, this is the kind of shit that happens to me. Have you ever been followed by a fucking, like a cloud, a dark cloud with like strange colored lightning flashing in it that like follows you from one city to another? I have. Sound nuts, right? Ever had a helicopter follow you? Like riding your bike down the street or whatever, a helicopter follows you around every turn for miles. I've had shit like that happen. Of course, that was years ago. I've had fucking just. And I sound like a nuts for saying this shit, I know. But it's like fucking straight truth, man. 100%. I ain't fucking lying. I ain't making this shit up, and I ain't hallucinating. The things I've fucking seen would blow your fucking mind, dude. You only hear like a couple of people sometimes talk about the sort of shit that I've seen. There's like a few like real people out there on YouTube and shit that have actually had similar experiences. Like Regato, and I don't remember what this other dude's name was. He used to have this targeted individual channel. Talk about some of the shit. And there's like Bruce something. Richard Bruce, that's it. A couple others, you know. I don't know. I used to be totally on the whole Bible kick, you know, and thinking that all God and the devil and supernatural shit. And now it's just like gotten so fucking crazy, so absolutely batshit insane, that I have to question like whether or not that's even real, or that's all just like part of some show that's playing out here, you know? Because it's like too crazy to be real, you know? And just God and the devil just isn't good enough to explain it. It's because it's too fucking nuts, even for like the devil and God and stuff, you know? I mean, you got all kinds of batshit crazy stuff here, man. All this like mud flood fucking evidence popping up and mud fossil evidence popping up, and we're talking about fucking giants all of a sudden, and giant tree stumps and giant melted fucking castles and shit, you know, all kinds of weird, crazy crap. Fucking UFOs declassified, nobody cares, you know. It's like, it's a total fucking lunatic asylum, this place, man. You got just endless amounts of fucking super crazy shit that doesn't add up, doesn't make sense, and you know, this whole Bible thing, you know, just isn't, it doesn't seem sufficient to explain the weird, crazy crap that goes on, you know. Expect me to believe that I'm like one of the 144,000 or whatever the hell, you know, people are. I think that seems kind of presumptuous and arrogant. I don't know. Inflated sense of self-importance or something. It's like, I mean, yeah, I experience shit that's rare. It's like rare. I've seen a lot of shit that most people have never seen and just think is fucking nuts or whatever. But it's like, you know, why? Why me? The hell makes me so damn special? A fucking goddamn loser drunk. It's weird, you see all these other people like talk about the Mandela Effect and shit, and they got all their shit together, you know. Just focus on happy, positive things. Everything's wonderful, you know. I can't even get a fucking place to live, dude. I can't even hardly find a fucking cheaper motel that I could stay in, you know. Just watching my money fucking circle down the fucking drain. I can't seem to get anything fucking right. It's like nobody gives a damn whether I even live or die, it seems like. Or you people talk about Mandela Effect changes and positivity and all this crap, man. I don't think I've ever spoken to even one of you people on the phone or anything. Oh yeah, I have. There was this one time I had a conversation. I was actually talked on with this Cali chick. I would like to have had a copy of that. We had an interesting conversation talking about some like next level fucking crazy Mandela Effect shit and supernatural experiences. She's like the only chick that's ever had stuff like sounded even more intense than the shit I've been through. But then there's like also signs that make it look like she could have been some kind of MK Ultra victim or some shit. Like, oh, you know, the butterfly in the handler kind of shit, you know. I mean, what the hell is this place? Who the, you know. Alright, I guess I'm running. I don't have any more time here. I gotta shut this off.